vibing out so hard, I'll be forgetting my guests on.
That's what's up.
Yo, I'm super excited about this with everybody. We got episode 105, the Carrying the Culture show. Paris, DC, Comoros Islands, Brooklyn, New York, all over the place. I'm super pumped to have you on. One of my favorite newer MCs that I've been linking in with the past few years, and wide range of music, conscious, boom bap, braggadocio, Afro beat, rhymes in French, does everything. Napoleon Da Legend, man. Salute. Thank you for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate this, man.
No, I'm really excited about this one because, you know, I've been in tune with your music for a few years, but I don't know a lot about you. And then I heard the French stuff, and I'm like, wait, hold up. I thought you was from New York. And then I'm like, so I got a lot of questions. So this is fun for me because I genuinely just get to, you know, find out some more things about you. You know what I mean? So,
right, for sure.
So salute to everybody joining in. We are doing this live, and it's going to be up on the YouTube channel. But if you have questions, please use the questions featured below. That way we can pull them up if they're relevant to what we're discussing. And also don't get any wild shit in the show. It's a challenge sometimes to keep track of the show while doing an interview, while keeping track of like live comments. But it is a you know, it's a fun thing. So just please be mindful of that. So let's get started, man. Like I said, I'm really excited about this. I mean, and I love the history stuff. So let's go back because you got me crazy confused, B. Like I was like, all right, you know, New York brother. Then I'm like, all right, well maybe French. I'm like, okay, Algeria is close to France. I'm trying to figure it all out. Like this figure.
Right. Nah,
what's the beginnings like for you?
Yeah, I was born in Paris, France. So that's where I was born. Both of my parents are from islands in East Africa called Comoros Islands. So both of them are from there. They obviously migrated to France and had me. But like at 4 years old, you know, one morning, I mean, that's how there's a whole backstory to it that I don't know. But one morning I woke up and Mom Dukes was like, yo, hop on this plane. And we land at Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's Virginia technically, but it's the D.C. airport. You know what I mean? And so I grew up in Maryland, D.C. area. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, I was speaking French with the family, but you know, I quickly learned how to speak English because I was still really young. And you know, man, I even lost my train of thought on my own story, man. Nah, like yeah. I learned to speak English by watching TV and listening to hip hop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why a lot of people think I'm from New York because of the way I speak. But yo, like I was listening to like the goodies, man, the golden era. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was like swimming in when I was young. And so I was taught like them. I learned the slangs like them and stuff like that. So that's why everybody since a long time always thought I was from New York.
Everybody. I mean, of course, and it makes sense. But it's you know, there's always a backstory, but like. So let's put it in perspective as far as like year wise, like what time period was this?
Well, that was in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like in the mid 80s. So it's like the music I was listening to growing up was like, you know, Tribe, Wu-Tang was coming out. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I got that age, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The Chronics, the Far Sides, I grew up in. Of course, I think it's the best era of hip hop because it was my era. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know, I know, like you know, back in the old school, some people like you know the '80s better or the late '80s better. But you know, I kind of grew up in the '90s. That's the kind of hip hop I was listening to growing up.
No, it was a special time, man. I was talking to a lot of people about that, man. It's the night. I mean, and I'm a '70s baby, so I grew up in the '80s, but wasn't really into like the bars and lyrics until like Rakim dropped really in like '8. And so I think kind of the unofficial start of the golden era, and it kind of changed and stuff like that. And in the '90s was just different. I mean, wherever you were, if you were in, it was a wild time. It was wild at shows. It was just the energy. And I say that about like almost any scene in the '90s. It was just like a different time. Yo, what were your parents thinking as you were figuring out your American stuff going on, like how, like you know, and as you were learning the language, but you were into hip hop and everything.
What was my parents thinking? You said?
Yeah, like what was their whole energy about it as you were growing up?
Nah, I mean, I don't think they really knew. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, you know, they was out there working. So it's like, you know, they might hear me bump some stuff in the car. And like my father really liked music, so he had records, you know what I'm saying? So I had all reggae records, I had African music at home. So I was listening to a lot of like island music from the Caribbean, from Africa, like all these type of things I was listening to. And then, you know, American like R&B music, Michael Jackson, stuff like that, you know, James Brown, all types of stuff growing up. They weren't thinking nothing like I know like my dad being a music lover, he probably didn't get it at first because he being like from an African background, he thought it was really violent and stuff.
Yeah.
But as I kept going, like I would see like, you know, I play like the radio was playing, and if I Rule the World started to play, and it was Lauryn Hill or something, because he probably liked the Fugees better because it was more worldly. He was like,
Right.
yo, I can see Nas is nice. And I was proud to hear my dad say that, because I was like, yo, that's not really his thing, you know what I'm saying? And they really didn't know, man. I was just taking care of business. They were so busy. I was doing my thing with my boys, and we would just ride around, you know what I'm saying, and just listen to hip hop all the time. And then when I used to play basketball was like one of my first loves. Hip hop was playing all the time. Like people had their boom boxes, people had their cars bumping and stuff. So it was not really like, it was a separate thing, more or less, you know, with the folks. They weren't really involved with all that, you know what I'm saying? And they were going through their own thing, you know what I mean? Because it was like, to be honest, it was a difficult time for them and for us to adjust to the different lifestyle. Like they're coming from a real third world country, you know, and already it's a culture shock coming from Paris, but Paris is cosmopolitan, it's a big city.
Yeah, it's
But
still different though. I mean,
yeah, but they're already like foreigners in France. None of they double time. So and you know they ended up splitting up at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I spent my time, like, let's say for my teenage years, I spent my time a lot like with my boys. You know what I'm saying? With the crew. You know what I'm saying? I was in DC a lot. I was staying at a lot of different spots, and that's kind of what it was. But to be honest with you, like I didn't verbalize. I was doing what I had to do at school and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I actually ended up going to Maryland University, and you know, the in-state, because I was living in-state, so I could get that in-state tuition thing.
right.
And so I it's like they didn't really. I can't go to an African family. I can't go to. I couldn't call my dad or call my moms and be like, y'all want to rap? You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't a thing culturally. They're like, nah, you got to get a job. You got to have certification. You have to get a job that has a salary or that has a little bit more prestige. Music. Nah, don't talk to me about music. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something I really spoke about, but they knew that I loved doing it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And you're great. And so, I mean, and I wiped this out with this in terms of a lot of families coming over from other countries. Education and get a good job, straight up.
Right. Nah,
nothing else.
Serious. So you can't mess around. You gotta have that discipline, because you always have that threat. But I wouldn't believe that they would have done it. But you got that threat where, if you mess around, we send you back to Africa, and you're gonna have to be like, living like your cousins and stuff, and you're gonna go back to France. Like, and look, I had a group of kids where we were all from African families, some from Gabon, from Cameroon, different parts of Africa, and that was it. Like, we had some friends get sent back for like, getting caught with drugs, doing stuff like, yeah, man, like they'll send it back. Like, you're making us look crazy. So there's that part of like the pride of like, we come here, we got to represent, we got to have some sort of dignity and this and that. And like, music is not the most dignified thing, especially back then. Now things are different, things are changing. So it was like, I was just doing my thing on the side. It was just kind of like my little thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like Batman, but they didn't bother me. And later on, my father, rest in peace, I think I think he would have been proud of my choices, you know what I'm saying? And my mom, Nancy, of course, she supports me. She's back in the motherland now, but I don't think it would have been a problem. It's just at that early age, it probably wouldn't have went off easy, because I have friends where we used to rap together, like, and they were from a Cameroonian family, and there was times their parents was like, Napoleon and all that, we don't want them in the crib. We don't want no music. none of that music crap, because we would do a lot of stuff in their basement and make noise. And you know, they didn't want the younger kids growing up looking at us wanting to become rappers and stuff. So we had to deal with that. With some families, as I saw growing up, like I would go to American families and stuff, like people are welcoming them. You got their parents knowing raps and being cool. Like it wasn't like that. We had to code switch in front of our parents.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
No, I've
you
seen
had
so
you
many
had to
friends.
be you had to be polite. You had to be, you know what I mean? I couldn't be like, hey yo, mom, yo, check out this new song I recorded yesterday. Yo, man, I probably get smacked in the face, man.
Yeah, no, I've seen that so many times with my friends who were second generation over here, and their parents
Right,
were, you know, like working 8 jobs. Like, yo, we came over here. You bought that education. Yo, listen, I tell a story all the time. My friend from Jamaica,
right.
yo, he was grounded for 2 years because
Yeah.
he messed up something at school. He was grounded for and it was straight. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But your grades were straight though, right? So they probably weren't rocking with you though, right?
Yo, luckily enough, I was always good at school. Like,
So
and I wasn't like a top tier person, but I could follow halfway and always, you know, make the grades. And that was my teachers always used to come down on me. And then now I'm looking back, I didn't know what it was. It's just like they were saying I was nonchalant, I didn't care. But to be honest, now that I see, I wasn't interested in how they were teaching and what they were teaching me. I was into the music. I was writing rhymes, like, and I wasn't paying. I was halfway paying attention, but I was always doing it enough to make the grade. So I wasn't like a flunky and nothing like that. No, I would show up. I would do what I had to do, and then play basketball and listen to music and make
right, right,
music. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
So then, how did you? Because again, your bio says Brooklyn. So when did the New York?
Right,
Your parents got divorced, and it says in your bio you were kind of just dolo for a minute,
right.
like you said with your boys. So then, when did you transition to New York?
Well, for a period of time, me and my boys, we were like pursuing music too. Like so we were pursuing music where they would support what I do. And we would go to New York. And we used to go to New York just to check the scene out, to do some record digging. You know, we go to Fat Beats, we go to different places, we go to Philly, we go to New York, we go to the different states, but a lot more New York. So we would try to make little connections here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be in front of Fat Beats, you know, in ciphers with like Percy P and Ill Bill and all that. And I would get props, and that would give me a lot of confidence, because when you're coming from a city like DC, Maryland, you don't know where to gauge yourself on a national level. And you know, it's like it wasn't the wave where like you could just put your music online, and you know, it wasn't that era yet. So when I got respect from people like that, it started to give me more confidence in what I did. And there was stints of time where I would just go to New York, and I would just get an apartment, like a short lease, and I stayed in around Clinton Hill for like a few months at a time, and just try
Okay,
to like hustle my demos, make connections, record music, try to see who I could meet. But it was like, to be honest, I deemed it as, it was hard time. It was unsuccessful. It was like, it was difficult, man. I would come there without any plan. It would be winter time. It would be mad brick in New York, like storms, snowstorms, and all that. And I'm like, yo, this is hard, man. Like, I'm in a dirty ass apartment trying to make it happen, and it was difficult these times. But a lot of things happened in my life, and there was a point in time where I was gonna go like the straight and narrow route, just get a job or whatever. I never had any like career type job. I'm talking about like work. I worked at CVS. I did this and that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I was like, I remember talking to a girl I was talking to at the time. She lived in New York. She lived in Brooklyn, and she was like, "Yo, you should be in New York." You know what I'm saying? She knew I rapped and stuff like that. You can make it happen over here. And I had to hear it again, and she was like, "Yo, you ain't got no attachments." And I don't know, man. She probably just said it because she wanted to see me, but it resonated like, yo, what's keeping me there? You know, my father had just passed. I had gone through like a little downtime in my life, and then I was like, yo, man, it's now or never. Life's short, man. What I got to lose? So, you know, I made my way out of Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying, through some connections that I had where I could stay. You know, there was a shorty's crib that I knew over there. She said she had an extra room. And I just took all my stuff and went there, and stayed. You know what I'm saying? Stayed there and just started, you know, going hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And it's funny because sometimes, with people with moving and stuff, it's like it's a challenge for people to move sometimes, and because sometimes you just familiarity is comfortable, even if it's not the best thing for us. Sometimes it's just
Right,
more familiar. So you go into a no spot in New York wasn't the most forgiving place back then in terms of just like hip hop and shit. Like, I mean, even they wasn't even fucking with people from like Staten Island at the time. Like, I
right,
mean,
right,
it was
right,
like
right,
I hear cats talk about Staten Island. They're like, yo, that's Jersey, man. Stop. Like,
right, right,
they weren't even rocking with Long Island. So Jersey, no, so it was a
right.
tough check. And so, I appreciate
Well,
hearing
well,
that.
I also learned though, because to be honest with you, I had done some things in the DC, Maryland area. You know what I'm saying? I've done dope shows over there. I opened up for big artists at the time. I had opened up with some of my boys for like Busta Rhymes. Had opened up for Ghostface, Five Dog, rest in peace. I even opened up for Nelly at the 930 Club. Like, yeah, we opened up for a lot of people and did our own shows too. But
Right.
it's just like, yo, we was just clueless, bro. And in DC, it was like nobody kind of took you serious at the same time. It was like, all right, we're just doing our thing, and they were only sweating whatever was coming from the big mainstream channels, and everybody else was just a joke. And I just felt like, yo, let me go to New York and discovering. I already had seen how hard and cold New York was, quote unquote cold, but I was just like, yo, man, if I don't really, really apply myself, I'm never gonna know, you know what I'm saying, what I could do, what I could reach. And I was like, yo, I was, and every time I would come to New York though, I gotta say on little short trips, a lot of things would happen. Like I had gone to New York, I think it was 2009, was it? It wasn't 2009. 2011 or 2010, something like that. And I had did this thing spitting in the whip with Crazy Al Kane, when I came to New York. And like that ended up going on BET on late night. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So I'm like, yo, every time I go to New York, things happen. And I killed that. I didn't even know like he wanted me to rhyme and everything, but he asked me to rhyme and I did my thing. So I was like, man, every time I go there for a little period of time, good things happen. So let me just try it again. I'm a little bit more mature than last time. I know a few more people. And yeah, man, like things worked out for me. Like I could say that it gave me a career that I didn't have coming in. You know, I didn't have a career coming in, but after a few years, I got to a point where I could do this full time. I've been doing this full time for years now.
no, that's great, man, because that's where a lot of artists want to be. And, it takes some luck and stuff as
Right.
well. But like it's amazing, man. And that's where I want to be with what I'm doing. That's where most of us where we want to be. So salute for being where you want to be. And it's inspiring. Your music is inspiring. And I want to get in that a little bit, man, because, when I first heard your music, maybe 2016, 2017, I just started hearing the name, Napoleon Da Legend. Napoleon Da Legend. I was with Rap FM at the time, radio station. We started posting your stuff. And your name's consistent, man. Your catalog is Diesel. I'm not gonna front like I know the whole catalog because it's too thick. It's crazy,
Right, right,
and
right,
it's
right, right, right.
always quality music, man. And the thing that I've noticed is like it might be a joint that I don't rock with, but I'm like, it's still a solid song. You know what I
Right.
mean? But that's the one thing I really appreciate. But I'm hearing, it says Afro beat, and I'm like, I've heard that term before, but I didn't know. When I listened to your music, I was like, oh, this
Right.
is what I like. I mean, I've been listening to this forever, but I didn't.
Right.
I hear different terms and stuff. So, what's your I don't know. Your claim to fame, your modus operandi, if you will. You had an album with that joint. I mean, what's your whole steez, man? Because it's a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's like, look, man, I'm as you can see it with my story, I'm really on some. I'm a hustler, you know what I mean. I figure things out, you know what I mean. I go there sometimes without a plan and try to figure things out. And me, it's just like the first step was me. I want to be known as like one of the illest MCs. That's always so from a bar lyrical, what I'm saying and what I'm trying to put out there. I want that always to be strong. But I grew up, as you can see from my influences, I grew up with a time where there was a lot of versatility in hip hop, and versatilities and flows. And some of the best rappers, you would hear him drop bars on, like, you'll hear Method Man and Wu-Tang drop bars with SWV on a song like that, or you'll hear, you'll hear him do different things. You know what I'm saying? You'll hear like Bounty Killer do a song with the Fugees or something like that. And I was always into stuff like that. And plus, as you can see, it was part of my background. So I always like the Afrobeat and all that is me bringing that part, being like, yo, this is part of me and this is what I want to do. And it's really a challenge for me just to be like, yo, how could I make this sound good and what could I do on this? Because, yo, I get tired of rocking on the same stuff all the time. And I think that would make me stale and it would make me uninspired. So I always got to like reinvent. My thing is that I could take a different style. Let's say I could do an album where I sample like in the back, I sample some anime stuff. I could do an album with Giallo Point that's really gutter. I could do an album with Clipto where he sends me beats that are a little very minimalist and very like out there, and still bring my signature to it. Where it's like if you follow what I do and you hear my voice, like I'll find that inspiration. The words will come to me that fit with that. You know what I'm saying? And that and through that, not knowing how I really do it, I tell my story. So it's ongoing story that I'm telling through different sonic landscapes. So I don't know if that's the modus operandi, but me, it's just like, yo, it's mostly the voice, like Guru says. So my voice carries me through whatever sonic landscape I choose to do. And I experiment. And sometimes I admit it, sometimes like I bump my head against the wall or do things at the time where it might be this and now I'm like, maybe not. But I feel that makes me stronger. Every song is a different battle. And I'm like, I'm battle ready. I got all the medals, I got all the scars to show for. So when the rappers know this, like, yo, I'm ready for whatever. And you know what I'm saying? I'm really confident about what I could bring to the table because I feel like I've been through any terrain. Like you guys are only used to walking on gravel and pavement. I've walked on dirt. I've been in the swamp. I've been on the beach. I've been on, my flow carries everywhere. I've been in the ocean. I swam. I climbed up that mountain and did this and that. So it's like, yo, when I come down, like going on gravel again, it's like, it's a joke to me. And that's how I really feel. And that's really what it is. I'm on some just Bruce Lee, like just training to get myself better and better and better, ready to go.
Word. No, that makes perfect sense, man. And I can hear that in your music. Like when I hear your music, like no matter what it is, I still hear you. Like I still hear, your music, your vibe, your energy come through, whether it's on a faster Afro beat joint where I'm like, all right, or whether it's something else. You know what I'm saying? So it still comes through as you. When did you decide, and how did you decide to start? And how do you implement like rhyming in French? When do you like? Because sometimes you go back and forth. Sometimes it's on just one track. Sometimes it's a little thing here or there. How do you?
It's only recent because it would be hard for us to hear me rap in French before 2000, before 2019, because I wasn't doing it. It was like, what happened? Look, man, I saw with my boy Arsha Technique, he organized a tour and it ended up being like 14 shows and it was dope, you know what I mean? And I went back to Europe and it had been a long time since I had gone back to France. I went to Belgium, I went to different countries. And when I was in France, I connected with a lot of people. So I kind of like that dormant speaking French part in my brain, like got sparked. And I'm like, okay, look, I need to start communicating in French again. Like I could understand it really well, but I wasn't used to speaking. If you don't speak something for years, it's like, it doesn't come natural. And I met in New York, one of my favorite French rap group called I Am. It's like one of the biggest French rap group ever. And they make classic music. And Kenaton hit me to do a feature where like he wanted me to spit in English and he's gonna speak in French. And then I spit his verse he spits my verse in English. So it was interesting concept because he knew I could do it because I rap in French. And then like I was like, yo, let me try to write a song in French just for fun. Let me see how I sound. If I sound crazy, if I sound stupid. And I did it, and it just sounded dope. And I was feeling myself. You know, like when you write something dope as a rapper, I know if the MCs are listening, you proud of you. You make a dope beat, you feel yourself. You're like, oh, it makes you hype. And I'm like, yo, this is dope. Like I really think like I could really rap in French and like not and be competitive, so to speak, and be like not like, yo, that's trash. This dude need to start over. You know what I'm saying? And so I just started doing it. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to France more often. I'm doing that. I ended up doing a song with the guy from Miami all in French, which is he's one of the greatest rappers ever in France. I'm like, yo, who else has done that? So it just sparked my interest. So now it's just something that I do. You know what I mean? I just added to my bag of trick. I'm like, yo, this is what
I
I
didn't know, and I never would have guessed. I mean, like, it piqued my interest because I went left when everybody was picking their classes, their language classes in middle school, and everyone took Spanish. I was like, I'm gonna take French, man. Forget you all. Like, so I was like, I was curious about that. So you're in France now. This is what we're talking. We're talking about the French stuff. So you're there now?
No, I'm in Germany right now, but
Okay.
I'm bouncing around a lot. I'm actually going to be in France on at the end of the week to shoot a video for.
Okay.
Well, that's an excuse for my French album. I'm doing a 100% album in French. And I'm shooting a video for my single there next week. Yeah.
Word. So are you is that your base right now? Europe, just in general, for the time being? I mean, you out there for a minute?
For the time being, I'm gonna be out there, you know. But like I said, nothing is permanent for me. It's like, yo, man, I'm a home where I put my foot down. I'm blessed enough to be able to like carry my work around with me. You know what I'm saying? Like all I need is a laptop. You know what I'm saying to set foot. And right now it's good for me because I'm working like on this French album, and I can still work on all the other projects I got going on. You know what I'm saying?
What's been the response, on the European side as far as your actual French music and stuff like that? And how's that been going for you?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, like one thing I forgot to mention, one reason why I also wanted to rap in French, I did my first French interview because, all right, Comoros Island is a small remote place, right? But a lot of Americans don't know about it, but people in France know about it. A few, like at least 3 of the best French rappers are from Comoros Islands, just so happens. You know what I'm saying? Just like Busta Rhymes is Jamaican descent, you know what I'm saying? They're from Comoros Islands, but they rapping in French, right? So I did an interview for a website in French. The guy asked me to do it in French, and I accepted in 2019. And within a week, the interview got like 150,000 views. And I was like, what the hell? Like, it's crazy. So I'm like, yo, and it allowed me to reconnect with people from there too. And I realized, yo, the language, which French already makes it more accessible for them. So it just gave me a little bit more spark to do it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
to answer your question, I think the feedback has been real good because on my album, man, the track list is crazy. Like the rappers, the big high level legendary rappers I got on there is like incredible, and they just did it off the strength. And it's like, yo, man, I was taken aback. I was like, man, I used to listen to y'all when I was growing up, and you guys want to rap with me in French. That's dope, man. So I can't wait to put it out.
That's dope, man. And it gives you another lane. I mean, I wish I was fluent in another language, like on the reg. I mean, it just opens a whole nother avenue, channel, like because I've heard some people, European wise, that only want to hear American English over beats. And then then there's certain people also that like, yo, what about our own? Let's speak in our own, let's spit in our own. Swedish rap, Filipino rap. So to me it opens another chamber.
But yo, look, I was inspired by a lot of French rappers growing up. You know, I was listening to groups like I Am, like the group I told you I had met. A lot of different rappers. And the thing about it is that it's also part of me like, yo, who else has done that? Who else could do it like that? I don't think nobody has tried to do it the way that I'm doing it. And at the same time, it ain't stopping I'm still releasing more music than rappers over here. I'm releasing more music than whole posses and crews. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? On the dolo tip, and that's not really being arrogant. Just check my catalog. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just something else I could do, and I'm like, yo, why not? Yo, I want to have fun while I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun for me to do all this.
yeah, nah, it's dope, man. I mean, yeah, the catalog is diesel. We're rocking with Napoleon Da Legend, episode 105, the Carrying the Culture show. And I didn't listen to this track, but I did see it, and like again, your catalog is so extensive. But I saw it. It said E. coli, and then somewhere it said parentheses J. Cole diss. It piqued my interest because I dissed J. Cole, I guess, publicly. So I'm just curious what that was about.
Yo, it's not even that deep, to be honest with you. It was like J. Cole had put out 2 singles, and on one single he said something like Napoleon complex, and he was dissing a whole bunch of rappers. He was feeling himself, and he was
Right.
like, "Yo, anybody want to test you? I'm gonna take all y'all down."
Yeah,
And my boy Prime Time from Bushwick calls was like, "Yo, is he talking about you, Napoleon?" I'm like, "No, he's not talking about me. Come on, that's ridiculous, right?"
yeah, yeah.
And I talked to another friend who's like, "Yo, man, why don't you just get at him?" And I didn't want to do it because I'm like, "Yo, man, he don't even know who I am. You know, he's on a different, he's playing a different game that I'm playing. Like
Right.
I rap. He's marketed. He got a machine behind him. You know what I mean? But then I honestly, the way a friend of mine was talking, I took it like as a personal challenge to be like, yo, you think like, and then so I just wrote it the same day. So the day he put out the joint, the next day I put it out, and I put it out like he said something Napoleon complex. I don't know, you short ass rapper. He said something like that, and I put it at the beginning of the song, and I just wrote what I wrote. You know what I'm saying? And yo, his fan base went off crazy on me. Like,
Oh, really?
but like, yeah, like I think the song got right now like almost like 400,000 on Facebook because I posted on Facebook, and like 3,000 comments. Like at least 2,000 is like J. Cole fans going like,
Oh,
"Who are
yeah.
you? We don't know
They're
who
tough,
you are,"
man.
this and that. But you know what my validation and what I love about this hip hop shit, like a lot of DJs was playing it on the radio. And DJ Clip, shout out to him, Shea 45, Rappers Out of Control, played it. He said he loved it. You know what I'm saying? He asked me about it when I went up there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, the spirit of hip hop is competitive. Like, I really mean this. Like, when I'm like, yo, I stand by how I feel and how I portray myself out there musically. So it's like, if I'm a rapper, if I'm on a song and I say, yo, anybody want it? I got something for him. I got to stand by that. He said it, and like, I knew he wasn't going to come back. He's not trying to make me famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, no, and I appreciate that. That's the spirit of hip hop. He's saying something. He feeling himself coming out as an
That's it.
MC. Like, so it's like, what? I accept the challenge. Challenge accepted. Let's go.
No, the funny thing about things like that is like, yo, they're more apt to go at like if Little Pump says something about him or Little Yachty or whatever their names are, but the spitters, you know what I'm saying? They don't want that. They don't want that type of smoke. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they're not
But like I
touching.
said,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a hip hop competitive thing. It wasn't nothing personal. I don't know him, and I ain't got no
yeah,
problem with him and his success. I got more power to him. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yo, step into this terror dome right here. Like, you know what I mean? It's different out here.
Right. It's like, you're stepping up from like K1 or whatever. It's like you're moving around in a different lane now, and so it's like he put that out there. So it's like, okay, well, you in our zone now, so let's poly for a minute. I got you.
Like, are you gonna stand by whatever you put out there? That
Yeah,
was the only test, and to me, he didn't because he didn't say nothing. So that is
yeah,
what it
because
is.
addressing the Rec Ali's and the Napoleon of the legends of the world, he's addressing, like you said, the little whoever's. I mean,
Exactly,
so, yeah.
exactly. But if you're talking about rappers and MCs, like we're here. You know what I
You're like,
mean?
oh wait.
So it's like, yo, right. You call, we here, we ready. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it was
it's
almost like a dare, and I did it, and like I said, I stand by it. You know what I mean? And if the opportunity came and like anybody want that smoke that's worth my time, yo, man, I'm with it. You
Anybody
know what I'm
can get
saying?
it. So we were talking about the catalog being deep, and I can't keep up, man. You and Planet Asia, a couple of other dudes I'm familiar with, like I can't keep up with you. I just try. It's like I get what I get, and because I know it's usually going to be solid, and I keep it moving, man. But because it's hard, and but so because I thought a joint that was your most newest joint that came out 2 months ago, and
Right.
so you got what's the joint out now? The project
Colossus of Ghosts.
Colossus, yeah, and
Produced
so
by Signature.
yeah, so you got some joints on there. I really like the where is it? I'm pulling it up. The joint with Ilo Kush,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
Indigenous Jedi. Um, the Health First track is dope
Thank
because
you.
it was the first time I've heard somebody. Some of these topics, man, like they're hard to rap about and make the song sound good,
Yeah,
right? Like
that's true.
there's just a lot of spiritual topics. There's just a lot of important topics. It is hard to make it sound like a good song. And so I really appreciated the fact that you were spitting bars about salads and it's so crazy. Like, it's so crazy. Like the hook. It's I mean, I'm gonna put the part of this on in a minute if I pull it up. Um, it's so crazy, and I really I was like, yo, and you started off, he was like turmeric, dandelion, what? So but it's important, man, and I appreciated you putting, sharing it, but sharing it in a way that doesn't suck, So
Right. Nah, that is a challenge, you know what I mean? And like, I'm learning as we go that, you know what I mean? Like certain topics, I understand why some rappers don't tackle them because it's hard to make it sound ill and dope, you know what I mean? It's not always, but it's something important to talk about. And like to be honest with you, I never think before I write, to be honest. Like unless if I'm doing a feature, somebody gives me a topic, or if a producer's like, yo, I was thinking about this, and I'll write about it. But I don't even know. Like I just hear the beat and I started thinking about healthy foods when that beat was playing. You know what I mean? It threw me
oh,
all type, garden and eating type. And I'm like, yo, turmeric, ginger,
yo,
whatever, elixir.
I'm
You
about to
know what I
put it
mean? I
up.
just started throwing thoughts out there. I'm painting, I'm throwing ideas and images out there,
We about to put it on. Hold on. Health first. The Colossus of Goats.
I just can't get with her if she ain't keeping up with some healthy habits, man.
Love it.
That's just me. Y'all do you know what I mean? Turmeric, ginseng, ginger, elixir, add some lemon, manuka honey, all up in the mixture. Alkaline vitality, water from osmosis for clear focus, foraging for herbs in the forest. Dandelion from a friend of mine's garden. Your body's vehicle needs fuel, so many feed it with some garbage. Organic produce, apple cider vinegar. Some rather be so cynical, but life is not a cinema. Pull up bar in front the living room door. We stay ready cause we grew just from us living through war. Healthy is the new ballin'. Shorty, show me your blood work. Your cholesterol levels is off. She look
Yo, straight cholesterol. It's ill, man. It's ill. It's all, and it almost. I won't say it almost sounds like a parody. It sounds so good. It sounds like it's like you didn't really mean to do it. I mean, it's really dope, man. It's a dope track.
Thanks, man. I
Um,
appreciate that, man.
so I appreciated hearing that one. And then, we don't have too much time left, but I wanted to talk about because I was going on your page and we set up this interview, and I went through somebody else that was on your page that was doing a lot of features on your joints, and you were doing features on her joints, and I'm like, Nesma Nefertiti. I'm like, yo, who is this?
Queen Pharaoh.
And whoa, man, yo, we're gonna play this one track that I love. I got hip to it recently. But yo, she's an animal. So what's good with her, man? I mean, like that was a pleasant surprise. I was just looking through your joint, man, and I was like, hello. Like
Right. Right.
who hit me in the face with these psychotic bars right now? Like, so give me a little what up? Salute, she ain't
Yo,
here.
I'm gonna tell you what's up, man. Yo, first off, man, and I don't like the separation, male, female. A dope rapper is a dope rapper, period. But if y'all doing like female rap lists and y'all not putting her on it, you guys understanding what's going on out there. Anyways, but I'm gonna say, yo, we met in New York, and we was doing some like workshops, hip hop workshops with this organization. So we were going to different schools in the Bronx and Brooklyn, Rikers Island and stuff like that, doing like hip hop workshops with this program. And she was there. And so at first we was cool. We was just teaching the students. We know we both rapped. And she had expressed that she liked my music, you know, and she said she was a fan of my stuff and stuff like that. And I was like, word. I was like, and I heard her like do little things when we was like ciphering with the kids and stuff like that, you know, just for fun. And I told her like, yo, man, I'll put you on one of my joints. And that's the time where I was coming out with Still This Mixtapes 1, 2, 3, 4. And I had put two mixtapes out. I went on tour, I came back, and she came through, and we did that song, Encrypted Wisdom. That was the first song we ever did. We never worked together before. And it just felt so fire. Like, you know what I mean? And like DJ Premier was playing it. Everybody was playing it. And we was like, wow, this is crazy. And we just kept making music from then on. You know what I mean? And it just got to a point where it just felt like people really appreciated the chemistry we had. We knew we sounded good together because our voices just contrast so much. And it's like, she's so skillful where it's like, yo, we never discuss how to make a song. We just discuss what we're gonna do, or we just do it, and it just sounds like that. So it's so natural that I was like, yo, man, I gotta produce an album, me and you. So we came out last year with a joint album. Plus the fact that I don't know if there's a lot or any female male like 100% album like a duo. So Alter Ego came out last year, and it did what it did. And we had shows in France and Switzerland. Like just a few weeks ago, that was the first time in Europe. It was some of the best times of our lives, you know what I'm saying? So we're just keeping the energy going. And we just put out a song called Nas and AZ, which I'm about to plug something that's really exclusive on the next album coming out in December with produced by Giallo Point. It's an album called Buckets. And you see, I already got the physicals at the crib. I'm about to put, so yeah. So and so December 2nd, Buckets coming out, man, because I'm scoring buckets, man, buckets. So that's what we're doing right there. So shout out to Nejma Nefertiti, one of the illest rappers, one of the most enjoyable people that I make music with, because it's always fire and it's always so easy, man. That's why I'm not scared to like do back and forth joints with her. We just go crazy. We do whatever. We do personal joints. We do joints where we cut up word by word. We do all types of things. It's easy for us, man. It's easy when I do stuff with her. You know what I mean? Never have to struggle for it.
Animal. And I don't like the female-male comparisons either, because this ain't football or basketball where somebody's 200 pounds big. This is right here. And, yo, she will take your head off, me. Like, I don't even want to talk to her, like, because I feel like if I do something wrong, I'm just going to get just straight Kenshiro up. You know what I mean? 5-fingered explosive burst on that shit. So
the thing with her, like, she's like the sweetest person you'll ever meet, but you know, there's something about her where it's like, yo, she got a part in her brain, something wrong, man. So you're like, you don't want to get on that side with her because there's something wrong with her. If you be rhyming like that, she gotta have something wrong with her, man.
Nah, something definitely wrong with her. I mean, you know, like behavioral health therapist is needed because she's on some other extraterrestrial, man. And I'm grateful to you that I, found out about her. But definitely on our radar. I'm gonna play this one joint that's missile right here, real quick. It comes on. This is right here.
Set a sail on the grand line. We got sustenance, muscle in the stand for the test of time. Kinda hard to find the right words, the best to find. The game is treacherous and it's a mental exercise. Yo, set up a base, then build. Takes courage, determination, will. If being eager doesn't kill, being too patient will. Who else can take it to the apex with a basement fill? If your bars don't kill you, then your statements will. If it ain't your hypocrisy, your fakeness will. They try to divide the conquerors, break our defense down. Gems turn to legends like we straight out of French town. We on the starting five, no longer on the bench now. We just here to dish out the punishment that was sent down. Cold Nation got it lit like this. When you go for the king's throne, you best not miss, don't miss. Hit him with a 2-piece.
rose to a new peak. These cats is like two sheets in the wind, and groupies. I'm like a new cheat, turning a whole new leaf. Ever evolving, always changing. This my new leaf. Sometimes I let the hair roll free or rock a kufi. Open those chakras, I'm wearing lapis lazuli. You ain't gonna get what you need by not asking or being too meek. I'm too street to let people play me or talk loosely.
Not the lapis lazuli. Yo, fella.
Word, crazy. That's why, like, yo, that's why, like, yo, we make each other better, because it's like she hypes me up, just like, you hear that, you gotta come correct, you know what I mean? I love that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's always trying to take my head off on tracks, man, but, you know, make each other better, man. That's what it's
Grim Reaper out there. This is, you know, the sickle. We out of here. So salute to her. Salute to both of y'all and the music y'all doing, man. Everybody rock with her. If you ain't in tune, man, y'all, you know, I was sleeping, so I'm awake now. I get it. Yo, real quick, because this is always, to me, this is the more important stuff. Like you guys, you mentioned the youth workshops and stuff like that, and I saw on your bio that did some work at Rikers. So talk a little bit about that stuff, because that's, to me, that's, forget the music, man. It's about that type of thing to me. So talk a little bit about that.
It was moving in Brooklyn, man. It opened me up to that world where, like, I wouldn't even know, like, these types of networks, but you meet artists and stuff, and they're like, yo, man, that there's programs that there was this nonprofit organization called Urban Art Beat, and that's what they specialize in. They had teachers, and they'll put them in like show us how to do like curriculums and workshops, and we just go to these like schools. Like we went to Brooklyn Academy that was in Brownsville, charter schools like Ascend Middle School, and in the Bronx Eastern Academy and Rikers. And we just like, let's say we go to Rikers, we make cypher, we start to rap, we watch music videos, we do like writing things, exercises and stuff like that. We try to make songs and record. You know, like just the energy, like especially in Rikers, like some people are like, yo, man, I forgot.
Yeah, I mean it's glitching a little bit, but I heard you said the dude felt like you're back. It's spinning now. The dude said he felt like he was you know, like what, forgot that he was locked up based on that. You said it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. You know, and I heard it was in and out a little bit, but you were saying that the dude felt like he forgot that he was locked up.
Right. Like stuff like that, you know, you come back from that, you're like, wow, that's kind of deep, you know what I'm saying? Like just music and hip hop, just good energy, and just give people an opportunity to be creative with their time and see what they could do with it. And there's so much talent out there too, you know?
No, that's dope, and that's really important, especially, you know, with folks that are incarcerated. We understand how, at least in a lot of countries, but particularly in this country, the incarceration system is crazy in terms of just, you know, all of the inequalities involved in it. So, and Rikers is a place that's, you know, well documented for just being the worst of the worst, and it's not even a prison. So
when you talk about inequality, like, yo, I'd be hard pressed if I see more than two white people over there. Like, yo, everybody in there is black, Latino, or brown, or whatever. It's crazy to see that. It's like, yo, those are the only people committing crime in that like 8 million people city. Like, man,
right.
It's crazy.
Right.
It really shows like how we're a target.
Yeah, it's like, well, that bail, because, you know, Rikers is a spot where you don't make the bail if you're waiting for,
right.
You know, if you're on trial or something, right? So there's like, something's wrong there, because it's like, you know, right, in an 8-9 million people city, it's like that percentage of that prison yard is, you know, we know what that is. So right. I know, I really appreciate you for doing. Are you still doing? Well, you're over here now, so
right now, I all that was on pause. Plus, you know, COVID, all types of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they need to close down Rikers, as a matter of fact, because that place is like they need to blow it up and forget about it, because it's a useless place, man.
No, I know it's very depressing. I've read about it and looked at it a lot extensively. It's a horrible place, man. It's a horrible place. So, yo, what should we expect next from you? I mean, it seems like everything, because the grind is, you're pushing, but I mean, as far as legacy wise, what you trying to leave here with us, man?
Yo, man, just more innovative projects. You know, like just trying to keep pushing, man. Like I don't like complacency. I think I still got a lot more to say. One, that's the important thing. If I didn't have nothing to say, I wouldn't rap like that. But I feel like I'm getting better too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm honing my skills and getting better with time. So it's like I'm still motivated to create. Just a lot of dope projects with dope people and just more innovation, man. I want to see where I can take, like, yo, first off, like I said, man, my album in French is going to be a big deal for me personally because it ties into my background and it ties into something that I don't think has ever been done in that same manner. And but you know, for y'all, which is mostly English speaking, like I got mad albums, you know, mad people I'm working on, you know, like I said, me and Giallo about to drop an album. Me and Jay Sinai, he produced an album for me.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's done.
Big up Jason. Yeah,
D Styles from the Invisible Scratch Pickles got an album done with me. Yo, man, it's about to get crazy. Like if y'all think like all this music y'all been seeing lately was just COVID music. It was just like I was in quarantine. A lot of people asked me to work. I said yes to a lot of people, and I did it. But like now it's like coming out of COVID music, and it's like, yeah, I think it's even more focused. You know what I'm saying?
So the next joint is Buckets, right? That's what it's called.
Buckets. Yep.
What should we? I guess if you could tell what's the feel of that album? I mean, just
oh, you know, Jallow Point is very dark. It's very dark. It's very hip hop. It's like, you know, cuttings, a lot of scratching. Jallow Point is dope with the scratches. Beats are dope. Like you said, the Nas and AG joint with me and Nejma Nefertiti, that was the first single. I also got a joint with Supreme Cerebral on it. And the rest is just me. Just, you know, I talk about a lot of introspective stuff. I talk about my life. I talk about how I see the world and all that. There's some songs where it's just I'm just barring out. But a lot of it is just like, I got to a point where I can't tell the difference. Even when I'm barring out, I'm saying some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't even help it no more. So, yeah. But now I was in my bag during that album too. So y'all gonna see, man.
We're December 2nd, new Napoleon Da Legend.
For sure. Y'all gonna see. Like right when you hear the first joint, y'all gonna be like, okay, this one's for the books. I guarantee it.
Word.
I guarantee it. You come back to me after you hear it. When you press play, you hear that first joint, you're gonna know it's a rap.
All right, word. I like hearing that. Yo, I do want to ask you about the ball. I mean, there's so much we can talk about. I see the Kenshiro in the back. I'm a Fist North. Sorry, head, but you're big into basketball, and you said that, you know, it was like your first love. So I did want to ask you a little bit about the NBA, as far as not necessarily the old Kyrie stuff. I actually want to talk basketball for a minute. And I asked Breeze Bruin this when he was on. I always like talking point guards. It's, you know what I mean? And so for you, I'm not going to put you on the spot. What are your top 4 or 5 point guards in the league right now?
And I mean, I got to say Steph Curry, you know, even though to me, he's not like a traditional point guard because he's almost like a shooting guard the way he scores. But Steph Curry, to me, I think he's incredible. I think he's top 5 all time. But who else? Right now in the league, let me think, man. Damn, you did put me on the spot. There's so many.
All right, I'll throw out some names. I mean,
I could say Kyrie Irving. I don't know if he's ever gonna play again, but he's definitely next level. I think. Oh, the dude from the Pelicans, McCollum. Yo, he's dope. He's dope. I've been seeing him. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some. Like, that's what I'm saying. I can't think of it.
Okay, I'll just throw out. You can tell me how you feel about cats in their game. Dame. Damian Lillard.
Yeah. Nah, Dame Lillard is a beast. Yeah.
He's an animal. What do you feel about? He's newer. So what do you feel about LaMelo? I feel like I like his game. I feel like he's a younger.
LaMelo's nice, man. LaMelo's nice, man. I mean, look, man. He plays like he's been in the league for like 5 years already because he's been playing forever. I mean, since he's young, under pressure with cameras on the online, millions of views. So it's like it doesn't even phase him. You know what I'm saying? So he's a scary talent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, if it consistent jumper. Oh, where you got Ja? He's been an animal
See,
the past.
I'm forgetting people. Ja's incredible, man. Like he has that Allen Iverson energy. You know what I'm saying? But he's taller, and he's more stronger than Allen Iverson physically. By the way, I used to play pickup with Allen Iverson back in DC and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. I played with him a few times, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the DC best players like Moochie Norris, like a lot of the college players and stuff, I used to play with all of them back in the day.
What's the famous park? Was there a big
Well, it wasn't a park. It was a Murray High School, which is
Okay.
in Northwest DC, and they have this program called Doc's Gym where on Sundays it was invitation only. You can't just show up there. You have to be invited, and like scouts would come, and we would play pickup ball with NBA, the best high school, the best college players, and I would be up in there. You know, I was invited.
You got game like that?
Yeah, I used to. Like I said, man, this is a picture from back in the day. I was on it, man. I was really on it. But basketball's tough, man. I'm a short guy, and you got, what I mean, it's like it's a long shot. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like I don't even know how you could be short to play ball now. Like the way you got guys like what's that dude with the complicated name 7'3" from France?
Victor Victor.
Like
The
they
French
got
kid,
players
right?
like that coming up, huh?
The French kid shooting the threes and stuff. Yeah, it's great. I mean, because they're playing ball, like you said, they're playing ball from the time they come out their mom. They're not playing multiple sports like we did when we were younger, so they're playing all year round.
Right.
Like AAU, I mean, they play all year round. So it's and all they do is they focus on these cats will go out 5, 6 in the morning before school with their parents and stuff like that. It's a different.
And you know what, too? Back in the day, like even kind of when I was coming up, they will put somebody like him and just teach him how to play in the block. And now it's not like that. They teach these guys how to shoot and all that. You know, I think Roy Hibbert used to come to Murray High School and play. I used to see him, and back when I was starting to phase out, I was outgrowing the sport. Like he was coming and practicing there. But like I said, now you're 6'10". They're gonna teach you how to shoot threes and handle the ball. Back in the day, they weren't doing that. So that's why cats like Kevin Garnett and all that, who could probably have been just as good as these dudes, but they were playing down low.
Right.
Now the game is wide open. People want you to make threes. They want you to space out the floor. So they're teaching you a different game. So they're growing up with a different skill set.
Yeah, and big men now, they're almost like relics, the ones that really post up and stuff. They don't even want that now.
Right.
Want that. You know what I mean? So
the game changed. The game it looks different, you know what I'm saying? But it's exciting. It's like, remember back in the days, did you ever play NBA Jams in the arcade?
Of course.
I feel like the NBA started looking like that, you know what I mean? Because it's like cats is just shooting wild threes. I don't remember cats shooting threes like they shooting now. Like Trae Young and all that. Trae Young, another point guard, by the way. He's nice. But
they were doing that.
Damn near half court, it's layups.
Coach will yank you out quick, man.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. You can't take a shot like that.
Nah, but now they're doing the analytics and saying that's even a better shot for Steph Curry than a layup.
Right.
And he's making them from half. That's standard now. He changed. The game is totally different. I mean,
right.
And especially with the NBA, they changed the hand checking rules and stuff like that too. So you can't press up on nobody, so because they're trying to increase the score, and so yeah, it's a different game. And the cameras on dudes, like you said, LaMelo ain't fazed by no TV cameras.
Hell no.
Yo, real quick, when was this when you were balling with AI? Was he in college, pros? I mean, what was?
He was already a pro.
Oh, okay.
He was already a pro. He used to come. He wasn't coming there every weekend, but once in a while, he would just show up. But there was cats I don't know if you know these cats, like Walt Williams from Maryland. He went to Maryland University. He was nice. He was incredible. He was one of those players back then that could have been a player now because he was 6'9", 6'10", handling, could shoot. This Jerome Williams, he was 6'9", 6'10". He was handling the ball like a point guard.
Right.
There's cats like that. Steve Francis would show up. like
Stevie
all types.
franchise, killing them.
Yo, man, it was a fun time, man. It was a fun time, and you know, it stays embedded in my memory forever, man. You know what
I
I'm
bet
saying?
those runs were crazy, man. Those
No,
runs were
like,
probably.
I seen them dudes do crazy things. Like Allen Iverson, I could say with my own eyes, like playing and seeing on the court, I've never seen a better player like in person. Like he would do incredible things that I wouldn't even see him do on TV. Like just weird like positions on shots and all types of craziness, man. I'm like, yo, these dudes is creative, man. You know what I mean? Like and like he's short, like he's not tall, man, and he's frail. He's not like you had to be strong back then, you know, to go in the lane. He just incredible, man.
He was.
Creative dude, man.
Yeah, his heart was immeasurable. You know, what I mean, he couldn't. Did you ever see them go back and forth at each other a little bit? Him and Stevie.
No, they wasn't there together. I never seen them play against
That
each
would have
other.
been. Yeah, so little.
Like the best two I seen was him and there was that dude. He played for North Carolina for a while. He used to play for DeMatha. Joe Forte.
Joe Forte. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
supposed to be all world, but you know.
He was like, yeah, he never panned out, but he was one of the best over there. But Moochie Norris was nice. That dude was underrated. That dude was nice. Like he was just a bucket. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, the league is only 300. What 300? A few hundred jobs, man. I mean, so
Right,
there's a
right.
lot of people like
Yeah.
that. You know, just can't make it. So, yeah, we're gonna have to get on out of here. We're gonna roll on out of here. But I want to thank you for joining us, man. I really appreciated talking, just getting to know you better, just know a little bit more about you and being informed. So, appreciate it, man. Really do.
Yo, man, I appreciate your time and the invitation and what you're doing, man. Like carrying the culture, you're really doing that, and it's needed. And just your energy, man. Like that motivates me when I see somebody react that way to the music. And sometimes I'm here recording, feeling like the way you feeling by myself, and I'm like, okay, other people, you know, it transfers that energy. So that's cool. And shout out to everybody that tuned in and that listened. And yo, thank you for doing your thing like that. We need more like real media that's not like about BS. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about hip hop. I want to give shout out to all the DJs that spin my joints because it's like they just spin my joints off the strength. I'm not paying no like weird ass promotion thing to do this and that. And I love that still exists because you know it's such a business where it's like a lot of it's becoming pay to play. It's all probably always been like that if you really know what it's about. And like we just spitters, man. I'm just somebody that's in my room. I create music and I try to make some dope shit and I try to express some real emotions, you know, real stories.
No, we really appreciate you, man, because you know our platform we do paid promo, but it's only for promo for stuff that we like. Like we,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Now
we got.
I don't knock promotion. I'm just saying the fact that y'all would still could pick out. I know somebody tomorrow. You see somebody that's really killing it, did a banger. You're just gonna rock it because you're like, yo, that needs to be heard, and that energy is
We
important.
have, yeah, everything we have is genuine and like all, yeah, like everything, yo. It's about finding dope music. That's what's always what it is, man. And as far as the rap piece of our platform, and yeah, man, we rock with you because we rock with you. We rock with Yasmin F. I don't know her from a hole in the wall. Like she hasn't hit me up or nothing like that, but she's nice, so she's on the radar. Like when I first heard Rec Ali, I'm like, who is? Dig. Like so, yeah, man, because that's how we stays organic and stays genuine. I mean, like, yeah, promo. If you got promo, but like, you know. If you ever hear some stuff like the Suspect, you're like, yo, what's Tamal up to? Like, yo, that's not how we do it, man. Like, it's we have a relationship with you. Like, as a fan and as a media outlet, it's like I'm obligated to play what we rock. I'm a fan first, man, and so it's not about views or likes.
That's why I thank you for that energy because there's some people that are not like that. You know what I mean? They just see it as an opportunity to be like, okay, this and that. But nah, for us it's deeper. Like we love this. We really love this. And
Right.
and there's people on your side and even on my side that just happen to be talented rappers, but they don't really love it. They just know like, look, if I talk about this, I wear something like this and I portray myself like this, it's gonna make me money.
Yep.
And it's like it's more than we want to get paid. Look, I live off this. I want to get paid too, but it's not just about the money at the end of the day. It's about the culture.
Yeah, I would love. I know right now if I turn this platform into a trap mumble platform and little whoever was on here, I mean, I've gotten people that wanted to pay me like thousands of dollars to promote their stuff. Like, we can't do that, man. And it's like there has to be some integrity in that, both on the artist side, the media side, and with the fans. Like, because if the fans are shoveling in bullshit, knowing that it's bullshit, they're partly to blame too. So, you know, I want to play this joint, the rest of this joint a little before we get on out of here. Everybody, it's been episode 105. Napoleon Da Legend, man. This was a good one. And this is going to be up on our YouTube channel. Salute to you, man. I appreciate you, everything you're doing, everything you're about. And keep doing it, man. We're going to fade on out with this joint. But, again, thank you very much. I'll tag you when we get this all up. And
word up.
Salute, man. This is still Shanks. Don't get me going here. Break the wall, start throwing furniture.
Upon the failures and wins and let it move me. If you knew me, then you knew how far I've come, cause I do me. Another doobie in the air just to suit me. The truth is a hard pill to swallow. It got me woozy, be like mirrors to each other, like the sky and the blue sea. I never lose me, even when things threw me. I just got back up, nursed my wounds, and found the beauty.
Yours truly, y'all know how we do under pressure. The connector, swinging sword lecture, out to find a stolen treasure. And the power aspect, don't apologize, we rise with an improvised temper. The palate cleanser, the terrestrial life ender. You type tender, while it gets swiped like Tinder. Damage your agenda with Nejma, the bed hedger, the top trender. They be trying to befriend us, forever an apprentice.
Palate cleanser! New joint, Napoleon Da Legend, coming out December. He's got like 7 new joints, man. And it's been a pleasure, man. We're going to get this up. Thank you again, brother. Appreciate you. Everybody be good.